She was just a placeholder. That's what an insider just leaked about Hailey Bieber's marriage to Justin, and the internet isn't letting it go. At first, it sounds brutal, cold, but when even people close to the couple are saying it behind closed doors, you have to ask, was Hailey ever truly the one? Or was she just there to fill the space Selena left behind? It's hard to ignore the timing. Justin publicly called Selena his first real love, not once but multiple times, even after their final breakup. Meanwhile, just 6 months after ending things with Selena for good, he proposed to Hailey and married her in what fans still call a whirlwind. And while Selena has since moved forward with Benny Blanco, Justin's emotional state? That's been far messier. Insider sources describe it as an enraged marriage, and Justin himself has admitted things didn't start as calmly as they seemed. Then there's Hailey facing off against internet rumors, issuing strong denials on podcasts like Call Her Daddy and insisting there was no overlap. But fans haven't stopped pointing out the similarities, the cop-it outfits, the familiar photo poses, even business ventures that mirror Selena's dots, so the question remains, was this marriage a genuine second chance at love or an emotional reaction to losing his first? We're diving into every moment from Justin's most vulnerable interviews to the timeline fans say proves it all. Because the deeper you go, the harder it is to pretend this was just a love story. Justin Bieber has never been shy about expressing his feelings for Selena Gomez. Song after song, interview after interview, he made it clear his love for her ran deep. But when it comes to Hailey, the tone has always been different. In one of his own interviews, Justin described his marriage as enraged, admitting that it all felt rushed in hindsight. That's not just a red flag, it's a confession. According to sources close to the couple, what began as a comforting rebound quickly spiraled into something permanent. Some insiders say Hailey was never meant to be the long game, just someone to anchor Justin while he tried to get over the girl he never fully let go of. And that's where the theory begins, that Hailey wasn't chosen, she was convenient. A temporary fix to emotional damage that hadn't healed. The weight of that emotional history is hard to ignore. In one interview that still haunts fans, and some say Hailey Justin openly called Selena his first real love. When asked how hard it was to move on, he didn't dodge the question. It was really tough, he said. I don't know if I'm still over it yet. That's not something you expect from a man already married to someone else. For Hailey, watching her husband admit on camera that he might not be over his ex, that's not just awkward. That's devastating. And it didn't stop there. In another interview, Justin was asked about the best part of his teenage years. He didn't mention fame, cars, or sold-out tours. He went straight to Selena. My relationship with my ex-girlfriend, he said without hesitation. That was the sickest part. The interviewer even tried to joke it off. We're not supposed to talk about that, but Justin left it on the table anyway. You can deny chemistry. You can fake a smile. But that kind of emotional residue doesn't fade quietly, and fans knew it. The speed of it all still makes people raise their eyebrows. Just weeks after his final split from Selena in March 2018, Justin was suddenly seen reconnecting with Hailey. Within 4 months, he proposed, and by September, they were married. 6 months. That's all it took to go from broken heart to lifelong vows. For many fans and even some insiders, that wasn't a love story. That was a reaction. A rushed attempt to fill a space left behind by someone else. A friend close to the couple described Hailey as the right person at the wrong time, hinting that while Justin may have cared for her, the emotional dust from Selena hadn't even settled. And the urgency of it all, the rapid proposal, the secret wedding, the public silence about what really happened with Selena only made the whispers louder. Was this love? Or was it a man trying to bury his grief in a brand new beginning? As speculation grew louder, Hailey stepped forward not with silence, but with denial. On the Call Her Daddy podcast, she addressed the rumors head-on, firmly rejecting the idea that she had ever overlapped with Selena in Justin's life. Not one time, she insisted. He was never in a relationship ever when we started hooking up. But for many, the energy behind her response said more than the words themselves. The tone was sharp, defensive, and it only intensified the public's curiosity. Because while Hailey denied being a homewrecker, fans had already started connecting the dots from her fashion choices to her photo poses, even her business moves. They claimed she was copying Selena moment by moment, outfit by outfit. Not just stepping into her space, but echoing her identity. Side-by-side comparisons flooded Reddit and TikTok. The same hairstyle, the same Instagram captions, the same product launches. It didn't feel like coincidence anymore. It felt like a performance. And in that performance, people didn't see love, they saw someone trying to become what she thought Justin still wanted. But it wasn't just the fan theories feeding the fire, it was Justin himself. Over and over, his words and actions painted a picture that seemed to keep Hailey on the sidelines. In interviews, when asked about the women in his life, Justin often stumbled through vague answers. Once, when questioned about who inspired a particular love song, he hesitated. Just women in general, he replied awkwardly. The interviewer pushed, "Does it rhyme with Melina?" And Justin laughed it off, never naming Hailey. For a husband, that kind of ambiguity stung. And it didn't stop at interviews. In public, Justin often seemed distant, detached. When fans caught moments like him walking ahead of Hailey or slamming a car door without waiting, it felt telling. Not just cold, but symbolic. The version of Justin who wrote love songs drenched in devotion for Selena now struggled to even acknowledge Hailey in the way a committed partner should. These weren't just one-off slips. They were patterns, quiet moments of omission that echo louder than any love song ever could dot to the outside world. Hailey has worked relentlessly to craft her own identity, beyond the headlines, beyond the marriage. She launched a beauty brand, earned praise as a style icon, and built a celebrity circle that includes powerhouses like Kendall and Kylie Jenner. On paper, it looked like independence, but to many, it felt calculated. Every move, every friendship, every public appearance seemed less about authenticity and more about survival, about proving she belonged, about stepping into a Hollywood hierarchy that doesn't easily make room for someone living in another woman's silhouette. Even her friendships, fans noted, appeared strategic. When Jordyn Woods attended Hailey's Road Lip Tint launch in Paris, it raised eyebrows, especially given Jordyn's complicated history with the Kardashian-Jenner family. These moves suggested Hailey wasn't just building a brand. She was building a shield, a social armor. Because when the world keeps asking if you're just a rebound, just a stand-in, just a placeholder, you don't just show up. You perform. And Hailey's entire public image began to look like one long audition for a role that still wasn't entirely hers. Then came the moment that cracked the illusion. Wide open Selena's engagement to Benny Blanco in December 2024. While the internet celebrated her new chapter, all eyes turned to Justin, and his silence was deafening. According to a source quoted by the Daily Mail, Justin felt stung, not just surprised, not just reflective. Stung like a man watching a door slam shut that he secretly hoped might stay cracked open. And it wasn't just hearsay. Fans noticed the timing of his Instagram stories, his choice of music, even his expressions during public outings. It didn't look like a man fully settled into fatherhood. It looked like someone mourning a version of the past he hadn't let go. One post in particular struck a nerve: an Instagram selfie of Justin with Hailey, soundtracked by All My Ghosts by Lizzie McAlpine, a song about loving someone while haunted by a former flame. To many, it wasn't a tribute to his wife. It was a quiet confession that even now married with a child, under the gaze of the world, his heart still flinched at the sound of Selena's name. And while Justin and Hailey continue to post picture-perfect moments online, the public hasn't been convinced. Not when fans on Reddit are compiling timelines, decoding body language, and calling out what they see as cracks beneath the surface. Some users armed with screenshots, interviews, and long memory haven't just accused Justin of marrying. Out of impulse, they've given it a name: ego protection. One comment with hundreds of upvotes summed it up bluntly: he married Hailey quickly to hurt Selena for saying no. Another added he wanted Selena back. Hailey was the backup. Plan? Harsh? Maybe, but that theory gained unexpected weight when Hailey's father, Stephen Baldwin, took to Instagram in early 2025 and publicly asked people to pray for Justin and Hailey. It wasn't a celebration. It wasn't a baby announcement. It was a plea. And to many, it felt like confirmation that even the family sees something breaking behind the scenes. Combined with speculation about them arriving at events in separate cars, inconsistent cohabitation rumors, and Hailey's defensive posture in interviews, The placeholder theory didn't just survive, it evolved into a full-blown public suspicion. Sometimes it's not the big scandals that expose the truth, it's the quiet, awkward moments that speak the loudest. Fans have pointed out how Justin often seems physically and emotionally disconnected from Hailey in public. Videos of him slamming car doors without looking back, walking ahead without waiting, or failing to acknowledge her presence during interviews have all gone viral. They're subtle, easily dismissible until they repeat. And when they do, they paint a portrait of distance. A marriage that functions more like a brand partnership than a romantic bond. These clips stand in stark contrast to the version of Justin we once saw with Selena, the spontaneous affection, the open vulnerability, the emotional lyrics. With Hailey, the moments are quieter, colder. It's not just about how he treats her, it's about how absent he sometimes seems. And when that emotional absence is paired with public performances of happiness, fans don't see love. They see effort. They see an image being upheld. And in that effort, the placeholder theory finds its most haunting evidence, not in words, but in what's missing. When Hailey announced her pregnancy, it should have been a turning point. Celebration, a moment to silence the noise. But instead, something strange happened. As the news broke, the name that started trending wasn't Justin. It wasn't Hailey, it was Selena. The internet's emotional reflex said everything. Even in a moment that should have been all about their future, the shadow of Justin's past refused to let go. And it didn't help that the pregnancy. News arrived just as divorce rumors were starting to swirl again. For some, the timing felt poetic. For others, it felt calculated. Was this baby announcement a new beginning? Or a last attempt to hold things together? Online, fans speculated. Was this about love or damage control? Because while a child can deepen a bond, it can't erase old wounds. And when a marriage begins under emotional turbulence, every milestone, no matter how sacred, gets examined for motive. For many, this wasn't a family growing stronger. It was a fracture trying to fix itself. As the baby news faded and the headlines cooled, something else started bubbling beneath the surface. Blind items. Whispers from celebrity gossip circles spoke of depression, substance struggles, even infidelity. Nothing was confirmed, but the stories had a rhythm. And that rhythm matched the very real, very public battles Justin has faced in the past. He's been open about his struggles with mental health, about how fame fractured him from the inside out. But now, in the context of a rushed marriage and persistent feelings for an ex, those same battles took on new meaning. Fans began to wonder, did Justin ever truly heal, or did he just run? If his marriage was forged in the chaos of heartbreak, was it ever strong enough to hold the weight of who he really is? And if he still flinches at the name Selena even now with a child and a wife, what does that say about the foundation he built with Hailey? These aren't just rumors. They're reflections of a deeper pattern, a man still haunted, and a marriage still trembling beneath the pressure of a love that never properly ended. If there's one theory that refuses to die, it's what fans believe happened in early 2018 behind closed doors, away from the cameras. Whispers suggest that after years of emotional whiplash, Selena and Justin briefly reunited that year. And that reunion may have ended in heartbreak far deeper than the public knows. Some sources claim there was an unexpected pregnancy. Others say there was a miscarriage. Nothing was ever confirmed, but if even fragments of that story are true, it changes everything. It turns Justin's emotional collapse that spring into something more than a breakup. It makes it a trauma. And just months later, he proposed to Hailey. For fans, the timeline was too tight, too reactive, too raw. They didn't see a man ready to love again. They saw someone trying to patch a hole that had broken wide open. The kind of hole that makes you grab the first steady hand you can find. And if that hand was Hailey's, then what did that make her? A partner? Or a placeholder for something Justin believed he had already lost? To some, it's coincidence. To others, it's a calculated transformation. But for fans watching closely, Hailey's public evolution over the years doesn't look like a natural arc, it looks like mimicry. From the way she styles her hair to the exact angle she uses in Instagram photos, from clothing choices to eerily similar business ventures, fans have created side-by-side comparisons that are hard to ignore. Even her tone in interviews, her captions, her brand aesthetics, they echo Selena's like a shadow trying to keep up with the light. Whether it's intentional or unconscious, the pattern is unsettling. It's not just that Hailey entered the life Selena once occupied, it's that she seemed to be slowly absorbing the identity that came with it. And in doing so, she raised the question no wife wants to hear. Are you trying to be her because he hasn't let her go? Because when love feels borrowed and identity feels performed, it doesn't just strain the marriage, it shapes every public moment into a quiet competition she never asked for, but may have felt forced to win. Even celebrities have weighed in on the cracks in the facade. Wendy Williams, known for her no-filter takes, once said bluntly, "I don't think this marriage will last." At the time, people dismissed it as another over-the-top opinion. But looking back now, that statement feels less like drama and more like prophecy. Because right after the honeymoon, Justin was reportedly spotted near Selena's place. Not calling, not messaging, driving by. It was the kind of behavior that didn't scream love, it screamed unresolved longing. And that's been the thread tying all of this together, ambiguity. For all the posts, all the baby news, all the interviews, Justin has never been able to look the world in the eye and say, without hesitation, "I've moved on." His words drift. His answers change, and the moments he chooses to stay silent, they speak louder than anything he's ever sung. For fans, that silence isn't mysterious, it's damning. Because a man still tangled in the past can't fully show up in the present. And that leaves the person beside him, Hailey, alone. In a marriage built on borrowed time. So, was she just a placeholder? That's the question echoing through every interview, every Instagram post, every nervous glance caught on camera. And maybe that's why the public won't let this story go, because it's not just about Justin and Hailey. It's about all of us, about how people cope with heartbreak, about how we sometimes make permanent decisions during temporary pain, about how love, when unresolved, doesn't just fade, it mutates into comparisons, into silence, into performance. Despite all of Hailey's efforts to build her own name, to craft a brand, to step out of Selena's shadow, the public keeps pulling her back into it. Because deep down, there's a collective sense that something about this relationship never quite fit, that love can't thrive where longing still lingers. And while Justin and Hailey may continue to post curated moments of joy, the question remains, was she chosen or was she available? Was this love? Or a reaction to the love that didn't work out? Only time will answer that. But until then, the world keeps watching, because in this story, the past isn't past. It's just quiet.